What's going on, hip hop fans? Welcome to another edition of Hip Hop Head. This is the review for Currency Pilot Talk. Album comes out on July the 13th. Overall, Currency, former No Limit and Cash Money rapper, now on his own on Rockefeller, Def Jam Records, debut album. The original debut album was supposed to be Music to Fly To, and it just didn't come out. I guess with all the pushbacks and Lil Wayne being the #1 artist on Cash Money or Young Money. I believe he was the first person signed to the Young Money Entertainment imprint. His album just didn't come out, and this is the thing, he was garnering a lot of, I guess, a little bit of buzz. A lot of people listened to the mixtapes, but he wasn't putting out as many mixtapes when he was under Young Money as he did when he left, because when he started releasing mixtapes, he released some great mixtapes. Independence Day, Higher Than 30,000 Feet. There was Welcome to the Winner's Circle, Jets Fool. Just mixtapes like that. Super Tecmo Bowl. Just a lot of mixtapes, and they were high quality work. My favorite being Higher Than 30,000 Feet. That was my favorite mixtape out of the ones that he released every month in 2008. And also, I did enjoy the mixtape with Wiz Khalifa, How Fly. I did enjoy that mixtape as well. Another one of my favorite mixtapes that has come out recently. So, onto the album, Pilot Talk. First off, I'm going to say this is nothing compared to the mixtapes. The mixtapes, it seemed as if Currency's flow was just there and on point, the entire mixtape, but on the record's a lot different. Now, the songs on the record sound similar to a lot of the songs on the mixtapes, but it's a little bit different because the verses and the delivery is a little bit different on these songs compared to the mixtapes. And I guess pretty much with these type of songs that make albums that are on mixtapes, these are songs that I guess he didn't get to choose. But some of the songs are very reminiscent of Old Time in Rockefeller in 1996 on Reasonable Doubt. There were some songs like Can I Live that where Jay-Z just had kind of a laid back flow, kind of a laid back approach, and he just started spitting over the tracks and freestyling, not even writing the tracks, no verses down, no pen or paper. And I believe Currency more likely is the same way. I think that from the sound of things, or at least on the mixtapes, Currency didn't necessarily write. He was practically freestyling the whole time on mixtapes, and this did seem like he did. I think on a couple songs he did have a little bit of trouble, but let's get to the record. Example, intro to the record, very good, but at the same time, it does have the same energy as on his mixtapes. Example and Audio dope too. They both have kind of that same energy that he has on the mixtapes, coming in and with the nice vocal delivery and just rapping. That's what Currency does. I'm a big fan of his delivery. And then after that, it was King Kong, the first single, I believe. King Kong, I'm not too much of a fan of King Kong. That's just me, and it does sound like, I like the kind of the little techno electronic sound, but at the same time I just don't like the rapping over that type of sound, that type of beat. And then there was Seat Change with Snoop Dogg. Seat Change with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg just sounded like he didn't belong on that record. If you listen to the record and listen to how he was rapping over the record, you could tell Snoop Dogg just did not belong on that record. I don't think his style of rap, I don't think that style of rap, really fits that type of electronic sound to where the beats, kind of stop for a while and they start again. And I just don't think, I think Snoop Dogg does well when there's just a beat that just continues going and going, and there's a certain rhythm, because Snoop Dogg's the type of rapper that kind of has to have his rhythm to, sound really good. But in this track, Snoop Dogg just didn't really sound like he fit on this record. But overall, okay track. but it really picked up on Breakfast, because Breakfast sounded like songs that are on the mixtapes, and I'm making the comparison of the mixtapes to the album because I think that on the mixtapes he just had great work on the mixtapes, but Breakfast was very reminiscent of the mixtapes that he had made. That's when things kind of start to build a little bit of momentum. I liked Breakfast. I liked the song after. I liked Roasted. The kind of a little posse cut between people that are in, other rappers that are in Fly Society. I think Young Roddy and Trademark, the Skydiver. Very good track. I love this track. This track Roasted was perhaps my favorite song on this record. That was perhaps my favorite song. Skyborn, another track that had features on it. Big KRIT and Smoke D's, I believe is how you pronounce it. They both did solid work on that track. And after that, there was a filler track called The Hangover. The Hangover was just a filler track. It's typical Currency though, because he raps on tracks, laid back tracks. Could be about partying or whatever, smoking weed, partying, drinking, whatever. It's I guess it's something that you expect from Currency, but it just seems on this record that it's more of a filler track. After that, the Day featuring Jay Electronica and Mos Def. I like this track. I was a big fan of big fan of this track. Maybe my second favorite song on this record. I did like The Day. Like the delivery with Jay Electronica and Currency. I like that Jay Electronica's on this record. Because I think that Jay Electronica is underrated. I think he's very underrated. So I do like that he's on this record, despite the fact that I don't think this record's gonna get too much. I don't think this record's gonna bring him too much exposure, but it's a good record to have him on. And after that, you just have these little tracks here that just feel like filler tracks. Like you have Prioritized, and you have Chill Coffee. Chill Coffee, I'm gonna say straight up that Devin the Dude's verse at the very beginning of this track was on point. I think him and it was a short track, but him and Currency, it started with him and then Currency going back and forth. I thought Devin the Dude actually outdid Currency on this track. It's no Renegade or anything. It's no Renegade, but overall, just a really good track. After that, Address, okay record, but I was a fan of how the record ended. I like how it ended with Life Under the Scope. Life Under the Scope, I like the flow of Currency, delivery of Currency. I like the verses in that track. So overall, I've been anticipating this record for a long time. Listening to the tapes, Fast Times at Ridgemont Fly, Smokey Robinson, Higher Than 30,000 Feet, etc. Even the little digital albums, I like This Ain't No Mixtape and the Jet Files. I was a fan of those too. So what do I give the record? I'm gonna give the record 3.5 out of 5 mics. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5 because there's so many fillers, and other than that, it was with Currency. It was either I'm gonna say kind of, I'll give it a halfway, because with this album, it's like either you really like it or you don't, but you can be kind of in between on it. And there's just some filler tracks on the record, and tracks that just seem like just tracks that were just thrown on the record. I do like that Currency is gonna be the uplifting person on Rockefeller, but this is not really, this is no classic record. This is no Reasonable Doubt or The Truth or whatever. This is not one of those records. It's a nice record to kick back and listen to because of the laid back flow and delivery of Currency. But really, I would like to see more of a range of topics from Currency. But that's the type of rapper he is. That's the type of style he possesses. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Heart of a Champion, Paul Wall. Anyway, peace.